Hello brothers and sisters, this video is for you here. Now, my question is, when did you find yourself to be black, or when did you discover that you are a black? At what age, at what experience did you find that you are a black? In this video, I have some of the compilations and I believe that you are going to listen.
As I think back, I can remember as early as me being maybe 5 or 6 years old, the night before Easter, and me getting my hair hot combed to prepare for Easter Sunday church. And I remember the first time my mama burnt my ear with a hot comb. That's definitely the moment that I became black, for sure.
When I turned black, it was the late 80s. It was the summer. And we were staying with my grandmother for the summer, home from Germany. And we were at church. It was likely 114 degrees up in that church. I had a church fan, but it was just blowing around the hot air. And the pastor had been preaching, I know, for at least 2 hours. Now, I was a little kid, so maybe he was preaching for 45 minutes, but it felt like he was preaching for 2 hours. And he took a pause. And my grandmother, mother of the church, was sitting to the right side of the pulpit, first row. I was in the second pews, second row. And my grandmother said, "Take your time, Pastor." And I made a face and let out a sigh that I'm sure everybody in town heard. And my grandmother turned around and looked at me and put the fear of God in me. That's when I turned black.
What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. And I was told by an orange guy, that Kamala Harris, she, used to be Indian. And then when she found out she was black, she started running with that, right? And so, I see everybody on the internet sharing their stories about when they found out that they was black, right? And I'm like, I remember when I found out I was black, right? I was like 12 years old. Me and my homeboy, we was going to the movie theater. I had $4.50 in my pocket, right? Because that's how much it cost to see one movie. We was gonna go watch that movie, and then just because we just so happened to be in the movie theater, we was gonna go see another movie, right? While we was already there. That's how we figured it, right? And so we was riding our bikes to the movie theater. And then we didn't want to park our bikes by the movie theater because we figured somebody was gonna steal it. So we hid our bikes in the woods, and we started walking to the movie theater. So we get a little bit down the road, and then the police go, whoop, whoop. This white man comes out, police officer, pulls us up, say, "Get over there," right? And then he arrests us, right, or detains us, put us on the car. It's embarrassing. Cars driving by, you see two black boys, 12 years old, handcuffed, on the side of a police car. It was very embarrassing. I felt like a criminal at that moment. I ain't even do nothing wrong, me and my homeboy, right? So he gets on the radio, and he says, something 14, right? And apparently, come to find out, something 14 mean black. Apparently, somebody called the police and said 2 black boys stole some bikes and was riding down the sidewalk. Now, I am a black boy. The other guy was a black boy because we just found out. And we remember putting our bikes up in the woods, but we don't remember stealing any bikes and riding down the sidewalk. And clearly, we didn't fit the description because we were walking and they said that the people stole the bikes and was riding down the sidewalk. But that was the day I found out that I was black. I was 12.
So I wanted to just tell y'all about the time when I became black. It's actually it's a traumatic thing for me to think about because it was when my parents, my black father and my Korean mother, it was the moment when they had sex. They did it. They did the nasty. And I know that they did it at least twice because I have an older sister who is also Korean and black. And I am Korean and black, so they did it at least twice. And, you know, it's an interesting thing for me to talk about, you know, when I realized that I like just became black, you know. It's not when I got that silk pillowcase for my curls or this black cat.
I remember the day I turned black. It was in the early 2000s, and I remember the first time I heard Nuck If You Buck. And I mean, I was like, wow, this song is impacting me on a deeper spiritual soul level. And I listened to the lyrics as I sipped on my quarter juice, eating my hot sausage with salt and vinegar chips. And I was like, wow, I have been transformed. So I've been black since that very day, that very fateful day in the early 2000s when I heard Nuck If You Buck.
When I first turned black, I was probably around like 5 or 6 when I got my first black job picking switches. That's how I knew I was black.
I turned black when I decided to put on the fuchsia lipstick with the black eyeliner. That's when I turned black, and I used the brown gel to give myself a little baby swoop, the baby swoop. That's when I had decided as a teenager, not when I was born from a black mother or, you know, was raised by a black father and had black sisters. It was when I put that lipstick and that gel on for the swoop. The swoop. That was when I turned black. That was it. Thanks for reminding me of the decision that I made. It's a great decision.
You know, as a child, I was considered to be Asian. You know, I had a nickname of Shun Yan. That's what my mother and my godmother and the rest of the family, they called me because my eyes were slanted. I guess I really didn't become black. Maybe I turned black probably about a few years ago. Turned black.
So I turned black, y'all, when I had decided that I was gonna roll me a weave, a ponytail, and put pin curly, and then put it in the microwave for a few minutes for it to cook, and then take that mug and put it back on my head, and then swoop my bang with that brown gel and tie it down real good with a headscarf. And then I had turned black again when I had cut my hair into the mullet, you know, short at the top and then left it long at the back. But then the only way I would wear it was to gel it down at night and let it get real hard. And then in the morning, I would take my, you know, the comb and comb it out, and so it can be like real soft. And then put the black liner on with the cotton candy lipstick and the cotton candy fingernail polish. That's when I had turned black. Yeah, that's right.
I have to apologize to those of you who knew me way back when, because originally I was African American and West Indian, Jamaican. But now I've turned black. I just switched up on y'all. I turned black. Okay, I'm a chameleon.
So since when I turned black is trending, I wanted to share my story of how I turned into a black person. So for me, I was probably like 7 or 8 or something like that. And I was off exploring in the woods, as I did as a kid because I lived in the woods. And I found this secret garden thing, right? And I went inside it and there was this big, beautiful flower. And I walked up to it and the flower started blooming. And this beautiful fairy with a giant afro came out and she booped me right on my nose. And I've been black ever since. What about you?
When I first turned black, I was about 12 years old. My mom used to use the urn comb, which you put it on the eye of a stove so that she can straighten my hair. And she also used Crisco oil that came in a can to make it shine. When I first turned black, my mom used to take me to Paley's shoe store so that I can get those white shining Paley shoes for Easter. Another time when I first turned black, I was a teenager. And I remember wearing red lipstick because I wanted to be black. And I wore it every day to school. When I first turned black, I remember waking up realizing that it was 6 of us, 3 boys and 3 girls, siblings. And we all slept in one room with 3 beds. But my mom made it work. My mom, black, and my father, black. I don't know when y'all first turned black, but please tell your story when you first turned black. Y'all have a good day.
I'm half Colombian, but for the purposes of this panel, I guess I will be black. Kamala Harris is dismissing Donald Trump's false claims about her racial identity and heritage as the same divisive and disrespectful rhetoric he's been using for years. Now, he said she just happened to turn black a few years ago to gain political points, and he's doubling down on those claims.
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black.
No, I think that this is an amazing moment in American TV history because we can all tell the audience at that time we turned black. For me, it was about 99, 2000 when I first heard Juvenile's Back That Ass Up and I had a rhythmic cadence to my dance. At that moment, I knew I was black. Just the sheer audacity to go into the National Association of Black Journalists in their convention, in front of their face, and insult a black woman in that manner. I just think it is a place where this country doesn't want to go back.
So can I talk about when I turn black? No, that wouldn't be appropriate. Totally inappropriate, right? Yeah. Well, if I could, today would be the day that I turn black. Fuck this white shit. I am over it.
Hello guys, once again, my name is Golden Boy and I believe that you have listened from these videos and the compilation about when did I became a black person. So guys, first of all, I want to apologize. This is not my challenge because I'm from Africa, and to be very, very specific, I don't know when I found myself black. I just found myself black in Africa. So yeah, I just uploaded this because I was inspired by what majority of people were talking about. Now, being raised in in African country, I'll tell you that the day I found myself to be black is a day I found I was in a nursery school. I don't have main experience, but I just found myself in Africa, and being the only thing that I can say is that when did I become African in a poor family? That's how I can say it. Now, there are some of the things that I found out that many people were compiling, were commenting in this video, which I want to read for you here. And one is that I found out I was black many years ago when I bumped into a white lady at the grocery store, and she whirled around and called me a little N-word. I didn't know at the time what it meant, but it sounded crazy even for 3-year-old. My mother heard her, and I thought she was going to kill that woman, but security actually knew the white lady out the store. My mother tried to explain what happened, but she didn't need to because my young brain had already figured it out. I remember her holding my hand so tight that I thought I was losing circulation. I don't think she was ever wanted to let me go after that incident, knowing that life will only get harder here. Another one saying that I have always known I am black. My parents moved into an all-white neighborhood when I was in second grade. I was to go to an all-white element school. The school did not want me, and there were all sorts of meetings. I was 7. My parents explained I would walk to school with some white boys up the block for protection. The first day of school, as the only black girl in this school, I was called the N-word and at least 3 times. I guess I knew I was black at that time. I continue to be black up to this day. Now another one saying that I love this. You're absolutely right. Nobody tells you until you are out somewhere. Like my story is a little different, but the same premises. Aris didn't just find out, but she had to be pretty young. You see, she went to HBCU, a really good one, because she's very, very smart. So she so that meant she found out before graduating high school. All the commercials trying to make her look bad by saying she was a liberal prosecutor is advertisement flattering her in the best way. When the racist fools tells you about liberal, you know you still have your humanity. And I found out I was black in the 3rd grade. It didn't come back to me until later that was the turning point. I was invited to a birthday party of a classmate. I was the only black girl in the class, and there was one other girl who was Jewish. She had a small party on a Sunday, and she was there and her mother. The little Jewish girl and me. Didn't occur to me that there was nobody else there. Come to find out, her folk were racist and they had a birthday party on Saturday, and our parents wouldn't let us go. They were not comfortable, so to please her, her mother had just come on Sunday to celebrate her birthday with her. So no one else was at the house. Her dad, her grandmother, her brothers were gone for the afternoon. So I didn't know that it was arrangement that our parents had made because they wanted us to be safe. That was in 1966 in Iwao. So majority of the things you'll find that in this video is talking about they found out to be black the moment they experienced that racial slur or that N-word called after experiencing disagreement with mostly they encountered from the white people. So when did you find out, or when did you turn out to be a black person? When? Give me out your experience in this video, in this comment below, and I'll be reading it and answering them accordingly. Thanks. Bye.